Hello, everyone. Today, we'll be going over why I believe marijuana should be legal, not only at the state level, but at the federal level. Being legal at the federal level will grant permission in all 50 states, including the District of Columbia, to us legally sell, produce, grow, and do all sorts of business with marijuana itself. The four main factors coming in that we're going to talk about as to why I believe will be the most beneficial reasons to legalizing the substance and include jail time and the prison system, the economy, the opioid crisis, and the medical features of it. So first off, economically, legalizing marijuana at the federal level economically gives the chance for marijuana to be grown and be used as a crop replacement. So crops will be able to be grown throughout the Southeast. It's also a substance. It's also a crop that can be grown in a high terrain and difficult growing weathers. So it'd be able to be grown in the Mountain West and even up in the northwest or northeastern parts of the country. Secondly, it'll become being legal recreationally. It'd be able to become a taxable object. So more money would be generated into the economy that way. Then in a study produced by our RCG Economics in 2016, they believe that 41,000 jobs in the state of Nevada would be created within 5 years of legalizing the substance, let alone an income in $1.7 million in revenue. Nationally, they believe that over 1.7 million jobs will be created as well with the substance becoming legal. And let alone as an example, we can see in Colorado, one of the first states to legalize the substance, 300 million jobs or $300 million in revenue for the state were created in 2019. And so we see a great boost to the economy it'll provide being legal. Secondly, jail time. We know marijuana has been a very political, controversial topic over the past 15 to 20 years. We constantly see it come up in elections and ballots as to whether we're going to vote them in as a state. We saw just this year alone, Oregon and 2 or 3 other states legalize the substance at the state level. But jail time itself, 663,000 arrests were made in 2019, solely with the cause being marijuana. So it does make up. It makes up about 40%. It made up about 40% of the crimes in 2016 of people being arrested solely off the purpose of marijuana. Also, one of the biggest questions is how, without it being legally at the federal level, there's a lot of questions that come in from you can go out west, California, Colorado, Washington, state of Washington, and you can possess recreational amounts. Then we come more towards the East Coast. You have Virginia, one of the strictest states in all of America, where just a couple grams can get you years in prison. And so there's a lot of questions that still remain, kind of as you kind of travel geographically as to what parts, what regions of the country it is legal in, how much trouble you'll get in. Is it legal recreationally, medically, both, or just in CBD form? And so jails has a lot of questions that will be answered that way. Lastly, we see and up in the District of Columbia, Police Chief Kathy Lanier even came out with the statement that all people who smoke weed, smoke a joint, all they want to do is eat a bag of chips and sit on the couch. They're not going to go out and kill a cop. All arresting people for marijuana will do is make people hate the police even more, kind of have more of a negative effect for such a low-class substance. And lastly, she believes that substances such as alcohol and tobacco have a way worse effect on America. They have worse health effects, and that those are 2 things that both need to have more regulations placed on them, whether it be towards minors, possession, kind of amount you could have, how often you can purchase it. And so at the jails, we kind of see how much that'll help our system. Also, kind of on a racial standpoint, we see how many minority communities are more likely to be infringed upon for searches of marijuana. And so Minority of communities are often directed more than kind of the more suburban, newer, higher class areas. On the third point, going off with the opioid crisis, there's been 70,000 more than 70,000 annual deaths yearly since 2015, with deaths related to the opioid crisis, kind of pills and other substances that get abused. We also see marijuana as a less addictive. It's been proven through many studies that marijuana is less addictive than kind of two of the other substances I explained before in alcohol and tobacco. And it's also the more safer choice. We kind of see the effects that kind of a drug, marijuana has versus a lot of the other worsening effects that a lot of the opioids kind of have on a person. And lastly, medically, legalizing it federally in all 50 states, especially from a medical standpoint, it'll be able to help people such as veterans, professional athletes, people with many manual hard labor jobs that result in a lot of injury, fatigue. Marijuana will be able to kind of help with that going forward, help a lot of the elders in our community relax. It can also help with stuff like anxiety for younger kids, younger generations who go through school kind of struggling to be relaxed and calm in certain atmospheres. Legalizing the substance would then, even if you're not giving it to them to smoke, you can give it to them in edible format or in other ways that are safer and even more easy to use as the person itself, for the person itself. And so with that being said, I have a few graphics to show, just kind of representing all we've gone over today. So let's see. Can you guys see the graphic up on my screen? How about, okay, let's see.
To share your screen.
You guys see it now?
I don't see it, Cameron.
You guys see this PowerPoint now? Yeah.
Yes.
So here are a few different graphics that kind of show just a few of the different points, talking points we've gone over. This is kind of just an overall graphic of people who use marijuana. You see 41% of them use it for medical purposes, 21% use it for recreational, and then the other 37 remaining percent either don't use it or use it in very small dosages. Here we go. This is a map of all 50 continental states, the kind of showing where it's legal, where it's pretty much completely illegal, or where some states allow CBD medically. So you see, I mean, there's no true kind of code or read throughout the map. They're all kind of different in different geographical regions, and even kind of in those regions, you still see a lot of diversity in whether it's legal 100% or not. Here we go with the economics that we discussed. We see kind of over the next 5 years, the projected how marijuana legalization is projected to affect our economy in such a positive way. We see by 2024, it could bring in up to 106 towards 130 billion dollars of net worth or increase in economic value to our country. In our jail system, we see marijuana makes up for, out of all the people who've been arrested and booked, under drug charges. 27.6% of those are marijuana related. And so it's definitely kind of one of the more common things to get arrested with in America today. And here we go in the state of Pennsylvania, we see the 8th highest death rate by overdose in the country. With the legalization of marijuana, we see how it kind of affects overall quality medical and the overall health of life, and also decreases the opioid overdose mortality rate. And we see even during they've continuously since 2015 had more and more deaths annually due to opioid crisis. Yet marijuana has then since stepped in and definitely brought down, kind of more flattened the curve to bring it down to as low as possible. And these are here's just a listed chart of all the variety of conditions, injuries, medical problems that could result or that could be positively effective by medical cannabis. We see lists from cancer, HIV, migraines, even or some of the day-to-day stuff that we see with anxiety and depression. So I mean, it's a large scale of different medical fields that it'll be able to go into and drastically help. And so, with that being said, I have today we discussed why I believe marijuana should be legal at the federal level. Limited, not only due to the kind of judicial system, economics, opioid and medical, but a vast variety of other reasons. And so I thank you all for coming on today and listening. I'll leave you time to ask any questions if you guys have any, but if not, thank you very much for coming.